Next phase, we got to get the walls painted. Having the floor all done really makes it obvious how nasty the walls are. And we got this lovely shade of nicotine yellow going on. So, got to run to the hardware store and get some gloss white paint. Figure that'll again help for visibility in here. It's gonna be like a hospital room in here, I'm telling you.
Heard to the no.
All right, so we're getting stuff moved in here, and this blasting cabinet. So it originally was set up to open, so the whole lid would open, and it's got these legs that stick off the back. And the silent auction that I got it from, the company had modified it to side load. Eventually, my plan is to fabricate a set of doors for the size of this and side load it most of the time. However, I do want the option to front load it with the, tipping the whole lid up if I have to. The plan is to put it up against this wall right here, and in doing so, it's going to be tucked right into the corner, and I won't be able to open the lid if I need to. So I want to be able to keep it mobile, and I don't want to, scratch the crap out of this floor that I just put all this work into. So went to the local China Mart and got some caster wheels with brakes on them, and we're sticking them in there right now. And they've got this thin little hex on here to hold it while you put the nut on, and I was like, oh crap, not gonna be able to get a wrench in there. Well, I had bought a weed burner months ago, and this little wrench had been riding around in my Carhartt pocket since I bought it, and it just so happens that it fit right on there. Couldn't believe it. Sun shines on a dog's arse every once in a while, right? So we're gonna hammer the rest of these wheels on here and get this off the China Mart dollies. That way I can use the dollies to get the welding table in here. Onward. All right, guys, so next on the list is cleaning up this old welding table that I rescued from down at our old silo company. Homemade, just like pretty much everything down there was. I'm pretty sure this was built out of a couple of old drying racks. Not certain, but it's just the right size for this little workshop. I'm gonna set the jet combination slip roller shear brake on this back section where there's no plate. Should work out pretty perfect. That was something else that I picked up from a silent auction at a company. So yeah, I won't bore you with video of grinding this thing down. I'm sure you've seen it done, so I'm gonna go to town here for a little while and show you the finished product.
346 minutes later.
Well, now that I'm deaf and have just about no feeling left in my hands, I think this is good enough. Ain't perfect, but we've gone from looking like it came fresh out of the scrap pile to looking like a old but functional piece of equipment, which I can totally get behind. So call that good enough, and I guess we'll try to get it up on a set of dollies and get it into the shop without scratching our fancy new floor. See how it goes. Just going to take a short snippet to show you guys what I'm doing here. I got this industrial workbench from a silent auction at a company, and I don't know what color you would call that, industrial blue, robin's egg blue. Nope, not feeling it. So since we've got a pretty bright white and gray theme going on, I got some white, what the heck is it, epoxy. Yep, appliance epoxy. So scuff this up with some Scotch-Brite, and we're hitting it with the white treatment, and we're just gonna be bright. All the things bright. Oh, here's the first leg, working on this one. So I'm racing the sun here, so I'm gonna shut the video down and hammer this out. Be back with you shortly.
1 week later.
Well, guys, we're making progress. Slow, painful, frustrating progress. But got the bench that we were painting white mostly put together. Yeah, I skipped the bottom, but nobody's gonna see that anyway. Had a heck of a time because the butcher block surface, from this thing being sitting apart for so long, the ends of it had split a bit, and couldn't get the bolt holes lined up. Tried to draw it in with a couple of lag bolts, and they're made out of like grade 0 steel, and broke a couple, got pretty frustrated. Had it C-clamped, couldn't get it together. Ended up putting new holes in at a slight angle to pull some of the sections together, and we got it together. So the other thing with this auction find is that it's missing one of these adjustable legs. But where they're adjusted right now is about smack in the middle. So I'm gonna pull this one out and cut it in half and make 2 out of 1. It won't have the pad on the bottom. I will probably add one at some point, but don't have the materials here to do that. So we're at least gonna get it cut and get it moved over there, and at least have 4 legs so I don't have to shove a block of wood under it or something. And hopefully get this thing up on its feet for the first time. So keep on trucking. We are gaining ground. Got it on its own feet for the first time in, well, a long time. And saw this on the top. Gives you an idea. Woof. It's been a few years. So not too shabby. Probably gonna try to take this UHMW off, and I don't know, I wouldn't mind having it, but it's chewed up pretty bad here, so I don't know, maybe I can flip it over, then that notch won't line up, but I don't know, we'll see. It's got like legs that go on the back, and shelving unit, and a overhead light here, so keep plugging away at this. I don't know if I'm going to put that stuff on just yet. May try to get it in somewhat of a position where I think I'm going to want it. That way I don't have a whole bunch of extra weight to move around. But yeah, looking good. We are making headway.
The next day.
Here's the old auction workbench that we kind of refurbished a bit. And there it is, all put together. And luckily it's bright enough in here on the video that you can't see my shoddy paint job, but it's mostly white. Oh, never mind that blue right there. There, I'll cover it up with my finger so you can't see it. But not too shabby. And we got some more updates. I can't keep track now what I got video of and what I don't, but we're moving equipment in. I'm telling you guys, you gotta watch the, I don't know what they're called, the auctions for when companies are going out of business and stuff, because you can pick up some cool stuff for dirt cheap. This is a Southworth lift table. It's got a 4 foot by 4 foot table surface on it. It'll pick up 3,500 pounds. Got it for nothing. Gonna set this up to pick up engines and whatever else we want to work on. We can roll it up on there and get it up to chest height. And we got the welding table cleaned up, and I think I got video of that. I got this in the shop. another company auction item. You know, Jet, it's, hey, you know what, it's not the best, but it gets the job done. This is a 3-in-1. It does a shear, a brake, and a slip roll in the top here. So this has been sitting in storage for a bit after I got that from an auction for nothing. So pretty stoked to have this set up on a welding table where we can use it. Same thing with the spot welder. This came from an estate auction. Picked that up for nothing. Doesn't work, but it doesn't work because somebody's wired it wrong. So it's 220 and they've got it wired for 110. So we're gonna unwire this and wire it correctly, and hopefully we'll be able to make use of that. And got the blasting cabinet in here. Another company auction item. Pretty good shape. The gloves are absolutely shot, but we should be able to pick up some gloves for it, and then have a good size blasting cabinet for in here. Be able to clean our parts. Hopefully do a little bit less with the wire wheel and the cloud of dust. And so we're making headway, guys. I mean, this almost looks professional.
3 days later.
All right, guys, so on tonight's agenda for the shop build is trying to figure out how to wire this Southworth lift table that I got from that auction. This was clearly hardwired before. I am not going to set it up that way. I'd like it to be, you know, somewhat mobile. At least I can move it around if I need to. I've got a whip off of an old sump pump or something or other, but you know, 18 gauge, 110. So I'm going to be wired it in with that. I'm going to be taking this junction box off of there so I can have a whip for the wall power, and then a whip for the control talisman, or whatever you call it. Downloaded a wiring schematic for this thing. So we're going to go through this and see if we can figure out how to make this work without wrecking it. Electronicals, they're a good time for a mechanical guy. We'll see how this works out. All right, guys, well, we're struggling through this. I got the I don't know where that's going behind me, but I got the power cord wired up, and pretty sure it's right. And I'm trying to wire the remote. It's got 4 wires, 3 on the schematic, 1's a ground. Grounds aren't shown. But I couldn't figure out which wire was supposed to be hot because they're not labeled or color coded on the schematic. They're just, you know, 1, 3, and 5. So I took the remote apart and try to see how this thing's wired. Sorry if I'm making you seasick here, but there's a jumper between the top button and the bottom button, and the red wire is the one that is powering the jumper. So I almost wired to the black, because black in residential is typically hot, but looks like red should be the hot one, and that way it'll power both switches, and then when we close the switch, it'll put power to either the white, or we close the bottom switch and it puts power to the black. So the black and the white look like the signal wires, and the red is the hot. So we're going to wire it that way and see if anything catches on fire. So stand by. All right, guys, here we go. Moment of truth. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I don't see any smoke yet. Don't smell anything. I suppose that's a good sign. Do we dare push a button? Oh! Does it go down too? It does. Oh my goodness. See, mechanical guys can do electronicals. Decent. All right. Now we got to get this position, and yes, this is a mess. It's temporary. I'm planning on getting another length of this shielded wire. and wiring up a nicer remote. I don't have one right now, so we're using this hard wiring that was in it before just to get it working and see if it functions. Once we get everything situated, then we'll wire it up a little bit nicer, just like this one. Cool. All right, we'll check back with you in a bit.
The next day.
All right, guys. Well, we got the table for the lift table flipped over, and up on dollies here, we got the base positioned and leveled. And I drilled, I don't know if I can get you in here, I drilled a couple holes in the end because I think I'm going to try to make some sort of lift apparatus so that we can lower the table down onto the dollies in the future, and then use a couple turnbuckles to suck the scissors up underneath it, and then we can roll it around and move it from place to place. So we got that done. The cross shaft for it is all rusted to heck. This thing's been sitting a long time, so we're going to wire wheel that down, and then we're going to roll the table over it, raise the scissors up, and see about getting this thing put together.
20 minutes later.
All right, so we got it put together, and we got the aluminum ramp put in place, and threw a snowblower up there so you can see what it is that we got going on, and the whole reason for this and what we're going to do with it. So we'll get this aluminum off of here and see if it'll pick the snowblower up. I hope so. It's rated for 3,500 pounds, so if it doesn't, we got problems. Okay, moment of truth. I know this is super exciting for you guys. Well, we sprung a hydraulic leak. That's not good.
Few moments later.
That's no big deal. It's just the rubber return lines are dry and one of them popped off, so we can replace that easy enough. And now when we got stuff up here, we can spin it around and make our lives easy. Oh yeah, pretty decent. I think this is going to be handy. Onward and upward. Also been working on the stove. This was missing the adapter when I got it out of the scrapyard, so took a piece of pipe and ovalized it at the bottom, tried to match the outlet as best I could. It's still not quite perfect. Going to work on this a little bit more.